How's it, everyone? Welcome to a special edition of Nathan's Notables. I know it's been a minute since I have done an edition, but it's time of year when we're announcing the Fairbury Journal-News Athletes of the Year. We select one boy and one girl from all 6 area schools, and then we select one overall. And in this week's Friday digital edition, we'll be releasing the names of all the 12, 2 from each school, one boy, one girl. And those names and a picture will be in Friday's digital edition. And then in next Wednesday's paper, you'll be able to see a full write-up, a profile on all 12 athletes, and it'll be revealed who will be our Fairbury Journal-News Athlete of the Year. That's overall. Last year, I developed a point system that was based on accomplishments and criteria, and I modified it a little bit this year, the points, but the criteria is the same, and we're using that same criteria again that I implemented last year. Now, it takes all bias out of it. If you're wondering how I select these athletes, there's no favoritism, there's no bias. This is all based on a point system that is used by for accomplishments, and starting at the top of that criteria is if you're a state champion or you're part of state championship team. There were none in the area this year, and so nobody met that requirement, but there was a handful of state placers in different sports. So that's the second criteria. We go from state champions to state placers. Those are the first 2 criteria. You ask any coach, and they'll tell you what matters most is when it comes to performing in the postseason and at the end of the season. That's what you work all season for. Those are my top 2 criteria, and that's probably unanimous throughout the sports realm. That's the most important criteria when deciding who the top athletes are. Move on to number 3 criteria, which is qualifying for state. Did you make it to state? Different sports have, this is kind of the same value across the board, any sport. And then 3-sport athlete, that's important. If you're a 3-sport athlete, you're automatically going to get rewarded for that. Now, I know some kids don't do all 3 sports, and maybe they do a 3rd sport in the summer, but this is NSAA sanctioned sports that we're considering here, and that's pretty straightforward. Stats are kept by that, and that's what's official according to NSAA, so that's what we're going by as well. And also, if you're an all-state selection by the Journal-Star, World Herald, either or both, in any given sport, you'd be awarded points for that. And then also, what kind of separates some, if you didn't have any of those previous criterias, is if you were a statistical leader in football or volleyball or any sport where you're the fastest in any event, you're going to get points based, and that's for your respective school. So if you're, for example, if you had the most wins on a wrestling team for your school, you're going to give points for that. If you had the fastest 200-meter time for the girls for your school, you're going to be awarded points for that. So that's kind of the 6 criteria right there with state performances and making it state, being at the top, as it should be. Now, I want to re-emphasize, I'm not selecting, I'm doing the research to select, but the points are what separate these athletes. I'm not choosing who I thought was a better interview or who I thought seemed like a nice person. That has nothing to do with it. This is all based on accomplishments, pretty straightforward. And when I came in last year, Trevor Gill and I, we decided that going one boy and one girl for each school was appropriate versus handing out participation trophies to the whole class, senior class, and there's no grade bias in it. You can be a freshman, you can be a senior. If you're the best athlete for your school, then you're going to get the award. And by best, that means you've accomplished the most. So that's really straightforward right there. And congratulations to all those who are going to get it. Now, I can't tell you any names right now, but what I will tell you is a few statistics from the selections or from the people who earned the honors is that there were 6 seniors, 3 juniors, and 3 sophomores. Those are the grade breakdown. Take that for as you will. Also, another revealing fact, 6 athletes that were selected last year will be again this year. And so keep on the lookout for who those returners are. You may have a good idea. It's not rocket science, but you know, there were some pretty phenomenal athletes in the year last year. Same with this year, so 6 repeaters. And then also, I will say that the combined point total at Tri-County had the highest and diller-odell had the second highest. So what that means is their list of accomplishments gained the most points. So Tri-County's 2 athletes together combined for the most points in the area. And they had a phenomenal year at Tri-County, and some great athletes over there. And you can go through each season, and they had athletes in each season that were great. And so yeah, that's kind of what and then I'll also tell you one last thing is our overall athlete of the year for the Fairbury Journal-News is a female. So you can go ahead and guess and get your mind jogging there on who that could be. But it is a female this year. In case you forgot, last year was Aubrey Fangmeyer, who is now with the Huskers track team. He was a 2-time state champ at state track meet last year. Phenomenal runner. He qualified for state cross country, and he played basketball as well. But he got our overall area athlete of the year last year. So we'll see who it is, but it is a different athlete this year. And but yeah, check out, if you haven't subscribed to Friday's digital edition, you should. It's a good deal, and you're gonna be able to get the early reveal of who those athletes of the year are. And then Wednesday's digital edition, I'll give you a full write-up, everything you need to know about these 12 athletes and who the overall athlete of the year is. Stay tuned, and appreciate you tuning in to another edition of Nathan's Notables.